Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so I'm in the Rolex pool, as I call it, the Rolex bath. And my older daughter actually pointed out that the actual Rolex green's a little darker. And I was thinking, you know what? She's absolutely right. I mean, this is still a Rolex pool, but it's not. We got to be more specific. This is more like the Milgauss pool because we got some GV glass green going on here. So there you go. That's. I'm going to change it. I'm going to call this the Milgauss bath from now on. So what I want to talk to you guys really quickly about is a part of the X factor. Now there's a 5 or 6 factor way to look at watches. I'll put a link in the description to that video that I made. And the most interesting factor, in my opinion, is the X factor because it's all the little things you'll like or dislike about watches and why you're drawn to a brand and whatnot. And, you know, I was originally drawn to Rolex because, well, it was a tool watch, right? And I want you to think of two people in love, right? I mean, people are always changing. That's just the nature of people, right? They're always changing. And, you know, you meet at one point in your life and you both have something the other needs and you fall in love. And if all things go as planned, then as you change and evolve and progress, you'll change together in ways that complement each other and to where you still need each other and that's ideal, right? Oftentimes what happens is people will change in different ways, you know, and all of a sudden look at each other and, you know, they don't need each other in the same way. All right, well, bringing this back to watches is a very one-sided relationship because, of course, these things are inanimate objects, but we love them. Now, the question is, sometimes we don't change, and maybe the watch doesn't either, but everybody else's relationship with the watch changes to the extent that it forces us to change our relationship with the watch. What I'm talking about is the whole idea of tool watches, and that's what brought me into the whole watch thing, the idea of the tool watch. And Rolexes are still tool watches. I mean, the pre-ceramic Rolexes certainly look the part, but they're really expensive these days. And to spend over $10,000 on a Rolex watch and then, you know, splash around in a green pool with it, does it make a lot of sense? I mean, in 1960, when you needed a really good timepiece, and this was pre-quartz, then that's what you do. I mean, you were putting your life on the line when you went scuba diving. You needed a good timepiece. The Submariner was it. These days, there are better options, more cheaper options, affordable options. It just doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're sort of playing that nostalgia game. But a couple of years ago, you could get away with it. You know, a no-date sub was $4,000. These days, the watch hasn't changed. I haven't changed, but people's perceptions of the watch have changed, and for that reason, now I don't look at it as a tool watch anymore. I can't enjoy it in the same way. And the X factor that I came to Rolex because of now has changed, and it's changed, and now I still appreciate the aesthetic and the investment potential, and I enjoy watching the price rise. It's like having a blue chip stock, and that's kind of interesting. And that really wasn't the case in the beginning, right? So I appreciate it for different reasons now, and I still love Rolex. Rolex has changed, and I've changed my way of appreciating it. But it makes it so I don't want to take it in green pools and swimming anymore, right? And so the love has shifted to something different. And now the tool watch love is happening with this Vostok. And to say one thing more about this whole 5th or 6th factor, the X factor, Vostok are kind of interesting because, they're Russian watches and you can get them with these war machines. And, a couple months ago that might have seemed kind of interesting and fun, but here, the 20th of February, 2022, we might be seeing a war unfold by the country that made this very watch. And all of a sudden, those war machine Vostoks don't seem so fun. Wars are pretty serious, and it's all fun and games, and the bravado can be kind of fun, but we might be seeing that bravado manifest itself into a real war right now. And so, I've got to say, when it comes to X Factor and the Vostoks, I'm enjoying the Vostok a degree less on this February 20th day of 2022 versus a couple months ago when I didn't think Vladimir Putin was going through this sort of end of his life crisis and trying to put back the Soviet Union and go in a war to try to do this thing that I think he thinks he has to do before he dies. Putting back this magnificent time of the USSR, much of which is encapsulated in the dials of these war machine Vostoks. I will give the Vostok Neptune this. There's no war machine on it, and look, it's just a diving watch perhaps, and so there's that. But I tell you what, if I had been wearing a war machine Vostok, I don't know, I just wouldn't be so keen on it today. Anyway, it's interesting. X factors, the one-sided relationship, how we change, how maybe the watches don't change, but other people's relationships with the watches change, and how it affects the way we wear them. Guys, let me know what you think. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.